Good afternoon, everybody. It's Bob. Welcome to the channel. You're going to start with me here. We're going to do a little stress test of version 14 in downtown Denver. So we just got um, into the outskirts of the downtown area here. Now we're sitting in a little bit of traffic here, kind of next to Coors Field, where the Colorado Rockies play. So we are going to, technically our first destination here. So we are going to stress test version 14. We're on version 14.1.3, as we can see here. So we are going to drive into the downtown area of Denver. So obviously one of the bigger cities in the country. It's not like a New York City or anything like that as well, but this will give us a good preview. I'm just readjusting my mic. Giving us a little good preview of how version 14 will handle in a tougher environment like a downtown area. So middle of the day, downtown Denver, it's 12:48 p.m. So we are headed there. So we got a few stops planned throughout the downtown area, as you can see here, kind of like looping around and then finish at the state capitol as well, because this is the downtown area of Denver. The Colorado State Capitol is right there in Civic Center Park. So we came in off the interstate. Here's Coors Field off to our right as well. So I'm going to leave the map up as we make our way here. Currently, let's see what we got going on here. So destination right now, we got parking lot, street. We're going to try street as we approach Coors Field. So Coors Field, if you don't know, is where the Colorado Rockies, the baseball team here, Major League Baseball team plays. So that's what we are kind of approaching a little bit. Not the best baseball team in the world, especially as I'm wearing my Cubs hat. But, ooh, hey-o. So reaction there to that green Bronco getting in front of us. Not quite sure. I think it's trying to technically take us into the main parking lot of Coors Field, which I don't think we're going to do. But I'm going to let see where we kind of go from here. Because if that's the case, I'm sure that parking lot is not even open at that point. But this doesn't matter. So we're going to get a little bit of the stress test here, and then I'll probably cancel out the Coors Field trip here in a second, as it tries to take us into the main parking lot, which is probably closed, more than likely. But we're going to find out. So Coors Field sits off the, not the outskirts, but sort of the outskirts of downtown Denver. And it's kind of interesting how it's trying to like get you there, because this is where like the main lots are. So we're gonna accidentally turn into here and see what happens. That's funny. Yeah, so these main lots are open, which is quite interesting. So actually we're gonna put parking lot. Let's see what happens here. So sort of a navigation issue, more than likely, with this area. But I'm sure it's going to take us all the way down there to Coors Field, which is very funny. It's thinking about what it wants to do, because obviously this is a very large parking lot. It goes way back behind us, and I think it's actually going to find a spot here. Let's see. Or it's going to take us back out, which is also funny. Because again, ooh, yeah, you can go this way. Okay. Just want to make sure we can go this way. But anyway, so we're going to head up here. What do I got set here? So I have the parking lot. If I hit street again, I don't think it changes. So we're going to see. No, so yeah, it keeps doing that. The parking lot. Nope. Figured that out. Now let's see what it does. If it gets a little crazy, obviously this is a baseball stadium, so it might be a little bit more difficult to kind of figure out exactly where we're headed. But once we get up here on Blake Street, I'll probably send us to our next location that's on the list. But yeah, straight ahead is Coors Field. So, but yeah, coming in, fun again. When you're not recording is when things are obviously going to go. Um, things you want to be able to document in a video and a review of a software like this happen. But some weird there, and then this has been said about version 14. Some very weird, quick reactions to certain things, which is odd. And swerving in the road, like in theory avoid things right there and went into the proper lane. That's good because we're going to turn up here. But yeah, so very fast reactions. And that's been said by a lot of people. Some of the early adopters of version 14 had the same thoughts as well. Excuse me. So I was not able to capture those necessarily on video. Like I said, we were on the outskirts of downtown Denver. We're going to kind of give it, like I said, the little stress test. You got pedestrians crossing, all the little different things that can happen in a downtown environment that we can hopefully see here as we make our way. So now we're going down next to Coors Field. So it's going to stop us right in the middle of the street, which is not good. Oh, yeah, it's parking. There we go. Gotta love it. Let's let it park. Parallel parking right here. Very cool. So there you go. I had it set to a parking lot, but obviously this is really street parking more than anything. So there you go. Took us to Coors Field after I messed with the thing. So now we're going to go to our next location in downtown. So deeper into downtown Denver. It's called Sam's Number 3. Ooh, that went out almost in front of a car. Sam's Number 3 is a famous little restaurant in downtown Denver. It's on like Guy Fieri's Diner, Drive-Ins, and Dives. Great breakfast food. So there you go. Yeah, so parallel parked next to Coors Field, which is awesome. Boom. That guy just went through the red light. So for this location, it's set to a street parking. So probably, I'm going to guess that on navigation wise, when it comes to version 14 here, it kind of knows whether it has parking lots, it has, if it's just street parking. So something like a downtown environment is obviously going to be a little bit more street parking. There's parking lots, paid parking, parking garages, and places like that are downtown, but but we're headed kind of down over here to a place called Sam's Number 3. Then we'll make our way around as well. So a lot of one-way streets and those types of things as well that are down here. We are leaving Coors Field. A little construction right here. So that side of the road has some lane closures. Like I said, we are doing a little bit of a stress test here with version 14. See how it does. But this is really day 2 for me driving this new version of FSD. So got the update yesterday morning, got it installed, made some content. So knew I was coming up here today, so I figured this would be a good vantage point. And we're running this in standard mode. Something like downtown, I don't think it's worth. So trying right there, got around that little bit of traffic. Oh, a little reaction there because that car kind of moved out a little bit to turn. So again, hard to probably see on camera, but if you're in the car, you can feel that. Right, you got these guys on bikes right here, kind of sticking out in the middle of the road. And it, I'm going to say it probably stopped for them, almost. The light obviously turned, but my guess is that it almost stopped for them. because they're kind of out there at the moment. So we'll see what they do here because they're not moving. So I'm curious to what it's going to do. Or if it decides it wants to go around them. Yep, it stopped and hesitated, especially because these two are talking. Got a guy crossing the street right here that's waiting for. But like I said, they're when the two on their bikes there are kind of sticking out, looking like they're going. So FSD was able to react to that, which is good. But yeah, as I was saying, so got it yesterday. So really, third drive, fourth drive actually, because I came up this way using version 14. So yeah, you're seeing a little bit of the little jerkiness that comes with the reactions. So I mean, in a positive way, it's good that it's reacting to things. But then it's also like, I guess you could almost think that it's overreacting a little bit compared to what version 13 was doing, because version 13 was pretty solid, right? And I'm not saying that this version's not solid, because it is. But it's like the engineers, software development put a little bit more faster reaction times into things. But even coming down, like it was like getting on the I-70 or coming on or down I-70 and like almost swerved out of the lane, thinking it was avoiding something, right? But then like, yeah, that dumpster sticking out, it doesn't even react to it. But in the middle of an interstate, when there was nothing in the middle of the road, it was reacting pretty quick. Went around that manhole a little bit there, it swerved a little bit. But if you're ever in the Denver area, hit downtown. Nice little area. I thought about starting at Union Station. That's kind of over in this area, so off to the right. But I thought I'd just start at Coors Field. That was a good spot. And like I said, we'll end at the state capitol as well. But I wanted to bring it down here to give this, especially a lot of pedestrian traffic in a busy downtown area like this, give everybody that good viewpoint in terms of what FSD looks like. Right, because the next we're on 17th, crossing 17th Street. The next street here is actually more of like a walking mall. They call it 16th Street now. It used to be called the 16th Street Mall, but it's not for car traffic at all. They have like bus service and things like that on this street right here. So they actually just reopened this. I haven't been down here since they reopened the 16th Street area. Let's see if it does it again. This little manhole covering the road, because it swerved around the back there, but right, our location is right off to our left here, but it's a one way, so we gotta go down to the other one way, go up, come over. You keep seeing my hand, I'm just readjusting the camera. All the bumps. So we'll go down Curtis Street here. Great little area right here. It's the theater district of Denver. It's a little, we can play a little like tour guide here. But Denver Center of the Performing Arts come up here a lot, my wife. That's why people are standing in the street taking pictures. It's got a very cool like roof that's glass and all that, so that's why they were taking pictures there. I'm very curious here where we're gonna try to end up. So we were able to find a parking spot in front of the baseball stadium. Sam's number 3, which is the restaurant diner, is right here. Right, I think it's set for street parking as it says on the screen. It can't turn that way. Watch it go into this loading area. It sure did. So not good here. That's loading only at all times. So it pulled in right here. I'm actually right next to it, but that's not a parking spot. So there's one little quirk. Let's go to the next location. Pulled out. Ooh, man, got nice and close. That one. So there's one little hiccup. Pulled it not into a parking spot next to that diner, but to a loading zone. So that's probably going to come with more of the neural engine learning and machine, figuring out places like this where, where is the parking and where you're allowed to park. Okay, we are going to an unknown location. I think it's like a Starbucks or something like that. I swear, I'm pretty sure that's what I put in. That says it's going to go into a parking garage. I don't know if I wanted to do that, especially because they pay for parking a lot in these places. We're going to change that to street parking. Let's test that out and see where he tries to park us on the street this time. And we're going to go up and around. Look at my trip here. Yeah, weird. Okay. Yeah. But yeah, so the options for this destination: parking lot, street, parking garage. Like I said, I'm not going to take it into a parking garage here. I don't feel like paying for the sake of content. Excuse me. Keep going up here. The buses. Yeah, pretty sure I put in a Starbucks. So, yeah, pedestrians here. It's hesitating a little bit right there to try to figure out if it can go. I wonder if it was probably going to try to take us into that parking garage right there. Again. But I want to try to test out this street parking aspect again since it put us into a loading zone at the last location here downtown. So we'll see what we do here. Pretty long light though, so now it's just the waiting game. But yeah, so if you click here, you get your options here, right? You can curbside park at your destination if you wanted to park, right? It's, I'm sure based on navigation, it knows the locations and what kind of parking that they have. If there's some of them have been showing a charger and things like that. So, I'm not sure where we're headed here. Letting those cars go. And again, putting us into a parking spot for, handicap basically is what it's doing. So that's the struggle, especially in a downtown area, it looks like. So we're going to go to our next location. It keeps parking, so that's once in a loading zone and once in a handicap zone. And so it was a Starbucks. It's right there. So we're going to go towards the. Oops, it reacted there. I think it was reacting to that pedestrian. So kind of swerved. Fast reaction. For all my Chicago friends, there's a Giordano's. I forgot that was up here. I think somewhere in my Cubs hat, so go living that Chicago life, get some deep dish pizza. This could get in, yeah. So right, we're gonna go right back towards the theater district here to the Opera House, right? And so right now we have it set again street parking. So let's see what it does, because yeah, first time put us into a loading zone, second time into a handicap parking area on the street. So I mean, it's parking it, right? But it's not paying attention necessarily to the right spots that it needs to put it in. So that's a little right. If you're just going to Costco, like we saw, we did the put out the video yesterday of us, going to Sam's Club, found a parking spot in the parking lot, easy as can be, and it did it right at Coors Field. Got around that car or that Yukon, but yeah, I did it right at Coors Field and parallel parked, found us a parking spot in the street, perfect, right? So from perfect to not too good to not too good, and I'm gonna make a guess here. It's gonna probably do it the same way as well as we approach this the Ellie Caucus Opera House. I'm turning down this street, but it's trying to get over. So I mean, the positive in the downtown area does a good job of making sure it's getting over. Um, you know, especially in a downtown area like this, a lot of one ways. Um, Making sure it's getting into the proper lane quickly and not waiting necessarily, which is good. Kind of just looped around, so there's that restaurant that it went parked in the loading zone off to our right. See if it doesn't, because those are bike lanes right there. I thought it might try to pull into that bike lane, but it knew not to do that. So getting around these little pillars to make the turn. It's doing a good job though. Just issues with the parking. But the next video after this will probably be as we're sitting at this light getting ready to turn. We're gonna probably need to go charge to get back down to Colorado Springs. So I'll make that video of us navigating to a supercharger here in Denver. So Opera House is up ahead here in the theater district. So where does it want to find a parking spot? That's going to be the question. Where there's technically a parking spot right there. Should have went there, but I'm feeling like it's, so at this point it's going to get to its destination. So that hopefully is we refine that FSD here. So something like this in a very busy downtown area. This old brick building is the Opera House that we're going to, but literally right behind us is a parking spot. And if I'm telling it to park on the street, that's probably where it should have parked. More so, because now it's going to try to find parking spots right here, and it's not going to be able to because. So, it's curious what it will try to do. It's going to go down here to try to find a parking spot next to it, or loop back around, is what's happening. So it's going to loop back around to try to find a parking spot. So we're not going to do that. I'm going to edit the trip. We're going to take that out, and we're going to head towards the state capitol to finish this out. So, yeah, couldn't find a parking spot in front of the Opera House, so it was going to go all the way down here, loop back around, and I'm going to guess, and we could have tested that out, that it would keep circling and circling, looking for a parking spot eventually. But like I said, the refinement needs to be, we're sitting there right before it, there was a spot right behind me that it could have, slamming on the brakes here for the light. But yeah, it could have pulled into the spot right behind me, which would have been a lot easier than circling. So I don't know if that's going to have to be a setting of like park right there at the place or park close to the place. I don't know how you basically do that. So for the Tesla engineers, there's some thoughts there to look at. But we're gonna turn here, loop back into the, go up into, and finish us at the state capital of Colorado. So interesting here. We're in the parking lot. We'll see. Sure, the parking lot is paid parking at the state capitol, but we'll find out if we get there. And then maybe I'll switch to the street and see if we can get it to park in front of the capitol or around the capitol. Let's find out. So we're gonna go past Colfax. It looks like. So Colfax. Here's a little Denver history for you. Colfax Avenue, longest main street in the United States. About 26 plus miles. They actually do a marathon on it, so it runs literally from the east all the way to the west. So fun facts. So if you watch my videos, you get some little bit of history, I suppose. Right? Give you some history of the state capitol too, building as we get closer to it, and as you see it. So yeah, we're kind of going straight up here. Civic Center Park is like the city of Denver buildings, or government buildings, and then the state capitol building. I don't know how it's going to go in there, so we'll see. I haven't had to disengage FSD at all with this, so I'm not going to get in trouble with state officials for trying to get in there necessarily. Because right now it's, what if I change this? Let's see, street parking. That just moved us in a way different direction. That's just weird. I'm not. Let's go back to parking lot. No, I don't know. Yeah, it had us going up, but now it's going to make us turn. So we'll go back to street because it was going to take us up this route. Now it's making us turn here on close next to the United States Mint, one of the 3 mints in the country. One's in San Francisco, one's in Philadelphia, and one's here in Denver. So coins and things like that. If you have a D on any of your coins, money coins, that is probably, it is, the D means it's coming from the Denver Mint. It's right here off to our right. I wonder if it's like a don't turn on red, but I don't see any signs necessarily that say that. It started creeping a little bit. It wants to. It might go. People coming off to our right though, so it's got to make that decision. There we go. So yeah, right when I said it, I don't think there was a don't turn on red, but it was kind of blind, so I'm very unprotected right turn really. But I don't know if you can see it yet. In front of us is the you can see the gold dome of the state capitol here in Colorado. It's actually real gold from the mountains of Colorado, golden nugget or golden sheets or whatever I guess you want to call it that are put onto the dome of our state capitol. Yeah, it's really trying to take us up there. So we'll see where we get here, because then I might take over and park at one point as we get closer to this. Really see, because yeah, it's trying to take us into the grounds of the Capitol building. I don't know if I'm allowed to go in there, versus if I can get close right there. Yeah, that's up in front of us. You can see that on camera, the gold dome of the Colorado State Capitol here in Denver. But it looks like we're going to go down 14th Street. So, but there's a good way to stress test it. There you go. There's your shot of the state capitol. We're going to turn here on Broadway, it looks like. So we'll go around it. I haven't set the street parking, but I'm sure where it's trying to take us, I'm sure, is for parking for legislators and all those type of people that work at the Capitol. So I'm sure we're not allowed in there. But that's why we stress test this stuff. We're gonna have autonomous driving here, or with robo taxis and all those types of things as they start trying to make their way into this area. And it's gonna matter. Yeah, I'm very curious if it's gonna try to turn us into the Capitol building. And right in front of us, Colorado Supreme Court and Colorado Court of Appeals. Wow. Let's see where this really does try to take us. Kind of ending our downtown trip here at the state capitol. If you're ever in Denver, great area to visit. It's called like Civic Center Park, right from the state capitol down to the city of Denver buildings at the end of this little stretch. So let's see what it does here, because I'm sure, yeah, you can see the gate up there. So I'm not going to be able to do this, and I'm going to have to take this over because we will not be allowed in there. Because we do not work for the state of Colorado, and I cannot park in there. So that'll do it for you. Oh, and that's a one-way. Hey, okay, we're gonna go up. So good note here, you can either pull back down on your stock or hit start self-driving. Yeah, I'd turn too. So it's turning, navigation wants us to go a different way, but that's totally fine. So but we're gonna turn back and kind of go around a little bit and kind of go from there. But that's probably where I'll end it though. So that's a little stress of downtown. Little downtown stress test with version 14. Like we were running 14.1.3. So if you like what you've seen, give the video a like, subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time.